Dear students, nowadays any type of placement, whether it is the public sector undertaking or campus placements, maybe core companies or software companies, they are looking two qualities among the students. One is the technical knowledge. The other side is the soft skills. In the soft skills, they are seeing it may be communication skills, group discussion, psychometry test, group task, and various other soft skills. I have seen so many students who are very strong in technical subject, but they are failing miserably as far as these soft skills are concerned. There are some students who can afford by going to a coaching center. They have the capacity to get themselves trained, but there are some students staying in rural areas, not accessible to the urban areas, and even in cities also who cannot afford. So for them it is becoming a tough task. So ACE Engineering Academy, which is always in the forefront of serving the student community, is coming up with a new series, Skill Development Series. As a part of this Skill Development Series, we are presenting today an awareness session on group discussions. Professor Ramakrishna Prasad, popularly known as RKP, is going to explain in detail about what is this group discussion and what is its importance, how you have to participate in this group discussion. Definitely you are going to get benefit out of it. You should have patience in listening and observing carefully for about 20 minutes. Now I invite Professor RKP sir.
Good morning everyone. This is Ramakrishna Prasad. Professor JK introduced me to you before. We are going to have a small session today, putting you on to some basics of a group discussion, which is a part of any recruitment program, either on campus or off campus. Let us have a look at this. What is a group discussion, firstly? Please understand, a group discussion means a healthy exchange of views by a group of participants trying to evaluate a particular issue from different dimensions. Kindly understand, evaluate a particular issue from different dimensions. That means a group discussion is not a debate. It is not an argument where you take one side of a topic and speak like a lawyer in a court of law. Here you are going to analyze an issue from different angles, get opinions from others, try to arrive at a common conclusion, which is otherwise called a consensus. So the first and the foremost lesson here is, when you sit on a group discussion, remember, it is not an argument. Now let's look at this. Why group discussion anyway? Why? Why do these companies conduct a group discussion? Everyone claims that he is analytical, that he is great at team skills, and he has powers of coordination, he is a willing learner. Well, everyone claims a lot of things. These group discussions test those qualities in you. Whether you have good analytical skills, or can you manage with a team, can you get along with people, do you have the patience to listen and learn, and do you have the ability to contribute to the group task. A group discussion is nothing but, a group working for the achievement of a common objective in the interest of the organization. So when you start working, you will be in responsible positions. You will have to work with teams. So when your company has some kind of problem and your senior manager gives that problem to you and says, you as a team discuss this and try to give me some solutions. This is how you should progress, right? And that is what is being tested of you here. Group discussions are of different types. Generally you have a group of 10 members and a GD goes on for about 15 to 20 minutes, unless, the moderator has a lot of patience. Moderator is the judge in a group discussion. Unless he has a lot of patience and he allows you to talk for 45 minutes, 1 hour. But generally a group discussion takes place for about 15 to 20 minutes. The size of the group will be about 10 members. Okay. And in group discussions there are different types. First is a regular one, routine type of discussion, which is called a topic-based discussion. That means you are just given a topic, a one-liner, and you are given 5 minutes to think. Yeah, you are permitted a small notebook and a pen, so you should take with you a small notepad and a pen that writes. Please check the pen whether it is writing properly or not before you go to a GD. Please don't go there and ask the moderator for a pen. Definitely not. Okay, you must carry a pen with you that writes. All right. Now, topic-based GDs are again of two types. First one is knowledge-oriented. This will test your specific knowledge of the issue. Say for example, a topic like this, okay, our present day educational system does not suit the needs of the country. You require knowledge. You should understand what exactly it means by educational system, what are the different needs of the country, the problems faced by India today, and what is it that the education is supposed to provide, and what it is providing, and what we should do to bring about some educational reforms. If you don't have enough knowledge, you cannot speak on these knowledge-oriented topics, which means most of the times you are given current topics, and so you are advised to read a good newspaper in English, right? Particularly the editor's columns in a newspaper regularly. The second type of topics are what are called abstract topics. The very word abstract means something vague and unclear. That's what it means in English, right? Something very vague and unclear. Like for instance, you may get a topic like this. Every cloud does not have a silver lining. Yeah? Every cloud does not have a silver lining. First you should know what this statement means, right? And then you start talking about, if you just say, okay, cloud, rainfall and all that, that's all, it won't be relevant, okay? So what does this proverb mean, this saying mean, okay? Generally the saying is that every cloud has a silver lining, yeah? That's the actual saying. But the topic they give you, they just twist it and give it to you, every cloud does not have a silver lining, okay? So you'll have to present it, or you say, there is no right way of doing a wrong thing. Yes, this is an abstract topic, or simplest abstract topic, red is red, green is green. That's it. That's the topic. Red is red, green is green. Now, when we give such topics, when we train students, guys, they keep looking at it. Yeah, red is red, green is green. Sir, what should I talk about it? An abstract topic examines, tests your ability to think creatively, and most importantly, your ability to connect creativity with reality. Creativity does not mean wild imagination. So when I say red is red and green is green, you must start thinking about what does red symbolize. Okay, and when you start thinking, you should be positive in your attitude. You don't say red symbolizes anger, danger, and you don't speak like a small boy, red symbolizes stop in traffic lights and all that. You are all grown-up people. You should look at it in a more mature manner. Red symbolizes passion. Everything in this world is born from passion, right? You can always be good at a profession if you take it as a passion, right? If we teach, this is a passion to us. It's not like a profession, right? So you can always be good at something. Take the Red Cross. Why is it red? It's a passion to save lives, right? It's a passion to save lives. Similarly, green symbolizes prosperity. When you look at nature, in wonderful spring season after rainfall. You look at nature, everything is green, symbolizing life and prosperity. So if you can look at things in a very positive manner, think creatively and connect it to reality, giving real-time examples, that is the way to handle abstract topics. The third one, which is now quite the thing in most of the organizations in PSUs, and even when you go as officers, with the aspiration of becoming an officer in a bank, most of the times nowadays you get case studies. Last one is case studies. Now what is a case study? To put it very simply, I'll come to that a bit later, how to handle a case study. Simply speaking, case study is what is called a problem solving situation. They'll just give you one printed case, okay, it's all typed out, they give you about 10 minutes, or they may give a presentation, ask you to study that carefully, then they'll give you about 10 minutes time to make notes, and then you are supposed to discuss the entire case and arrive at some kind of solutions, right, to solve the problem which is presented in the case. Now, when you now look at it, okay, all this is fine, you're all sitting there, you're talking. Most of the times, one doubt that everyone gets is, sir, okay, we are all sitting there, we are all talking. How are we evaluated? What is the moderator looking for in me? Okay, how does it give me marks? Is it that if I just keep shouting, I'll get marks? No, you won't. You won't. There are certain parameters to evaluate. Wherever you go for a group discussion, first thing that you must have is knowledge about the topic. And what does that mean? This talks about the number of points you have made, right? How many points have you made? Please understand, if you say the same point in 10 different ways, active voice, passive voice, direct speech, indirect speech, you are not going to get marks. The moderator will know that you are selling the same thing in a different package, right? The content remains the same, okay? But you must have different contents. You must be able to present, okay? You must get into the GD at least 8 to 10 times, and you must be able to present at least 6 or 7 different points, which means you need knowledge. Please read a newspaper and try to improve upon your knowledge. It is only then you can make relevant points. Making 10 points out of which only 2 are relevant and the other 8 are irrelevant is not going to get you marks. While presenting a point, you don't just throw it at him like a fact, like the sun rises in the east, okay? It's not that way. You have to analyze, in the sense you must support your point with reason, okay? You must support your point with reason. A discussion is all about analysis. See, supposing once you join a company and your senior manager says, we are planning to fire 18% of employees. I would like you to discuss and give me your opinion of the group, right, your team. Now you cannot simply say, okay, sack them as long as my name is not there in the list, okay? Or you can't say, no, you can't sack them. You first analyze, okay, why has this proposal come up? What would happen if you sack people? How did you arrive at the percentage, 18%? Are we looking at skilled labor, unskilled labor, or semi-skilled labor? This is called analysis. You must analyze the issue properly and only then present your points quite relevantly. While that is of major concern, the second parameter on which you will be evaluated would be your ability to communicate. Communication. And what is communication? Communication again involves, first thing, oral language, right? The language you use when you speak. Kindly understand, you should speak only in English, okay? Yes, this is something that I have to tell everyone, because you see, after all, born in India, we are influenced by the mother tongue. Sometimes we see people saying, the Prime Minister said ki, okay, said ki. Why that ki? We should say the Prime Minister said that, okay? Or some people say, हाँ जी मेरा मतलब ये है, something like this. Okay, you are not permitted. You are not supposed to use a single word also from any other language. Please speak in English, number one. Number two, please speak in simple English. Okay? You don't have to fire words from the Barron's word list of GRE. Definitely not. After all, what is effective communication? Your listener should understand you as you are talking. He should not struggle to understand you after you finish talking. Okay? See, after all, anything small and simple is always beautiful. Yes? Okay. Anything small and simple is beautiful. If you use powerful words, supposing you say, I think he has reached an advanced stage of mental disability. The other person starts thinking, this fellow said something. You should only say, I think he has gone mad. That's what it is. I think he has gone mad. If I introduce a lady to you and say, she is my legally wedded companion for the rest of my existence, you have a shock of your life. You start thinking, this man made some sound. I just told you she is my wife. Okay. So please understand, keep your oral language simple and straight. Okay. Just be simple and straight. Everything brisk, crisp. Okay. Brisk and crisp. Okay. Right. That's oral language. You should speak, and for God's sake, please remember, you should not use a single word also from slang. Kindly understand, group discussion is a formal gathering. You are not even supposed to say, yeah. Okay? Please say yes. Okay? Keep your language simple and decent. And don't be afraid to speak in English. I've seen thousands of young men and women in my life till now when we train them. They say, sir, if I speak in English, I may make mistakes. So I won't speak. Well, if you sit on a group discussion, why are you sitting there? To get selected. When would you get selected? When you speak. Very simple. Okay. So when you go and sit there, it doesn't matter. The rest of them are not from England. They're all like you. The same types. Okay. Don't be afraid. But sir, I'll make mistakes. Make them. It doesn't matter. Right? But be bold to speak. After all, English is not our mother tongue. No one expects you to speak like Sir Winston Churchill. Okay? So please understand. Have the courage to speak. See, your enthusiasm, your passion to participate and put forth your views will be taken into consideration by the moderator. If you have the enthusiasm, you can be trained by any company. A person who doesn't have the enthusiasm, who sits back, is not willing to come into a GD, that means he will not take training also properly. We cannot train him. One who is responsive can be trained. An unresponsive iceberg cannot be trained. So please understand, don't worry if you make mistakes. See better. Please understand, this is always like, this is something like singing. Okay? If you want to sing, please sing. It is the listener who is in trouble. Okay? Don't bother. Just keep talking. Okay? Right. Next will be body language. Now when you talk about body language, please understand, the body speaks more. When you sit on a group discussion, please remember, number one, you should sit back in the chair. Okay? Some guys sit at the tip of the chair, looking very uncomfortable. That should not be the case. You should sit back, open your shoulders, sit straight, have a bright face. Okay? Yes, I am here to participate, man. Yes, come on, I want to talk. That's how you should be when you sit there. Don't look like, a doleful person, feeling sad about something in life. Please don't look like that. Okay? So have some brightness in your eyes, pleasant face, sit there. Whenever you want to make a point, just lean forward a little and look at others and speak. Kindly understand, you may move your hands, but not elaborately. Don't move your hands too much. Like, don't become too emotional. Okay, one. Secondly, you must maintain eye contact. This is the most important thing. I mean, there are people who keep looking into their notebook while they are speaking. It is not correct. You should look at people around you and you should address the entire group. It's not that you just keep looking at one person and keep talking. That's not correct. Okay? So feel comfortable. Don't keep swinging your legs, or don't cross your legs. For God's sake, please don't. And please don't play with the pen. Some people have mastered this art of, juggling the pen. Right? It is not permitted. That's bad manners. Okay? Please understand. You're not supposed to juggle the pen, okay, or keep swinging your legs, or, keep eating your pen, and whatever. Or, sit like this, in a relaxed manner. That's not correct. Sit properly, okay? Talk with passion, okay, come forward and speak. Okay, please understand this. The next thing is, the next parameter after communication will be your group behavior. Now what do they see here? First thing is team skills. Can you get along with a team or not? Now what does this mean? This means, first thing is that you should be a sensible listener. A good learner is always a sensible listener. A good leader is always a sensible listener. Right? Please remember this. When somebody is making a point, look at the person, look into the eyes of the person, start moving your head. Now just think about it. If you are listening to someone, naturally when you speak, he'll be obligated to listen to you. You can't say, look, I won't listen to anyone, I want to dominate, only my voice must be heard everywhere, but I want all others to shut up and listen to me. Nobody will do that in this world. Okay, you get what you invest. It's very simple. Okay, so please understand, first you should be a sensible listener, right, number one. And kindly understand, when somebody is making a point which you may think is silly, please don't laugh. You're not supposed to laugh at people there, right? And don't try to use humor and all that. Please don't do that. It's a serious occasion. You're not supposed to laugh at anyone. Also remember one more thing. If you want to get along with the team, okay, please remember, when somebody is saying a new point or something, pick it up from that person. You say, yes, okay, I would like to add something to that. You know, at this juncture, please remember, there is no need to say, yes, that's an excellent point you have made, it's a great point you have made and all that. You don't have to praise the person, but you can always pick up the point, add something to that. See, it's a win-win situation for the entire group. The group has to win, not one person. That is the purpose of a group discussion. The group has to win, and you should have good manners. Okay, you don't make rude body gestures, okay, and you don't use rude words and all that. You should have good manners, okay, and you must believe in this concept of we. Is that clear? That is what is called group behavior. How well you can get along with the entire group. Okay, are you making the group listen to you, or are they just trying to discard you? If whenever you speak, the group are willing to listen to you, that means you have excellent group behavior, right? Your group dynamics are excellent. Now, the last one will be leadership skills. Now, please understand, leadership does not mean, trying to dominate. No. Who is a good leader? A good leader is one who guides the people around him in the right direction, and he leads them from the front. Right? I am with you. Let us go together. That is a good leader. A good leader is not one who leads from behind. Okay. Right. So please understand this. So if a good leader does not believe in the word I and you, he believes in we. That's a good leader. Okay. Now what is this leadership quality? For example, supposing you find someone desperately trying to get a chance to speak, and the group is very noisy, and they are not giving him the opportunity to speak. So what should you do? As a leader, you may assume the leadership role and say, excuse me friends, I think our friend is trying to say something, okay, let us allow him, let us listen to him, please, let us listen to him, and then you turn to the person and say, yes, go ahead, good, that's a good leader. You understand? Giving somebody a chance, because that person may say something really new and really valid point which can help the entire group, right, in coming up with a very good answer to the problem that is given there. Okay, so please understand this, right? This is called leadership skill, okay? Guiding the people around you in the right direction. If the entire group become very noisy and they are all yelling and shouting, okay, nobody is listening to anyone, yelling and shouting, so what do? You simply raise your voice. Kindly don't get up. You should never get up, KNGD. Just raise your voice and say, excuse me friends, I think we are drifting away from the main point. Let us have a little discipline. Let us have a good discussion. Please, okay, if he wants to speak, Let us listen to him first, give a chance to someone. This is leadership skill. Okay? This is leadership skill. You must understand the moderator is not just looking for someone who got some points by heart and he is vomiting them there. He is looking for a real good person who will fit into the role of a responsible position in a good organization. You must have these skills, right? And these skills are tested by a group discussion. Okay. That was about a topic-based thing. Now let me give you a little input on case study. Like I told you, case study is always about solving a problem. The entire case given there would describe a problem, right? It will be like a story, understand? Be like a story, okay? Like you see, you are newly recruited as labor relations officer in a manufacturing company, and one of the gatekeepers comes to you and says that a trade union leader is threatening him. The gatekeeper says that he has caught the trade union leader trying to smuggle out some copper plates from the company during the lunch hours. Okay. And the gatekeeper alleges that, look, I stopped him, sir. Now he is threatening me. Right. He is a trade union leader. He is a powerful fellow. Please save me, sir. What should I do now? So if you were the labor relations officer, how would you handle this? This sort of thing. I just given you a simple example. Okay. Sometime, when we have a session, regular session, we'll go through that. Okay. This session is only meant to introduce you to certain basics, right? You should know what is it that's like my chairman, Mr. GK said, this is an awareness program. It's not a training program. Okay, right. So, how do you go about doing a case study? So you read this. Once you read the case, then you start making assumptions. What could have been the reasons? What could have been the reasons that have led to this problem? Should I blindly believe this gatekeeper? Should I blindly doubt the trade union leader? Imagine he's a trade union leader, that too in a manufacturing organization. And believe me, those guys are very tough. Okay. And if they go on a dharna or something, if you take unnecessary action against the trade union leader, if they go on a dharna, agitation and all that, the company suffers, the production suffers, the organization suffers. Once you join an organization, you are not an individual. You are part of the organization. That's it. Organization's interests are supreme. That's all. Your individual interests and individual opinions don't matter. This is something that all of you should remember once you become professionals. Okay. So make valid assumptions, start thinking why this could have happened, and then taking each assumption, try to suggest alternatives. What are the various alternatives that we have now? What all things can we do? Right. But while suggesting alternatives, you must evaluate the alternatives. That means you make an alternative and don't say this is the only way to do this. Why you are suggesting the alternative? What are the pros and cons of an alternative? Okay, if you are suggesting a course of action, which is otherwise called alternative, what are the pros and cons of that in case this happens? You see, there might be others in that group who might not agree with you. They say, look, okay, you have made this, suggested this alternative, but if we do this, this may be the result. There may be a negative issue coming out of that. Maybe you did not think about it. Then you say, yes, okay, yeah, now let us see how we can improve on that. Okay, you must accept some valid suggestions given by others. You come to conclusions after collecting suggestions from everybody, right? And then you must give solutions at the end to the problem. But always remember, even in your daily life, when you face problems, there are two types of solutions to problems. One, short-term solution. Yeah, short-term solution. You have a trouble in the stomach, man. At that point of time, since you have to get rid of it, you may pick up a pack of Eno and just drink that. It gives you relief. Right. But then, that is not the full-time solution to the problem. What matters is the next one, the long-term solution. So, right now, to calm down the situation, what should we do? And in the long run, to see to it that such a situation does not repeat, and the organization should always remain healthy, what can be the long-term solutions that we can suggest? If you can go on these lines, this is how you should go through a case study. You must analyze the case, pick up the facts of the case, analyze the case, then assumptions, suggest alternatives. It's not that, the manager straight away you should not start a case study discussion like saying, okay, the manager should now just directly giving solutions. Imagine, you go to a doctor, you say, doctor, I'm suffering from stomachache. Will the doctor prescribe a medicine straight away? Will he say, oh yeah, okay, go ahead, go have Beralgan, get out? He won't. He'll make you sit down. He'll ask you 100 questions. He'll prescribe a few tests. Why is he doing all this? He calls this diagnosis. In work atmosphere, we call this analysis. Right? A doctor calls it treatment. We call it solution. That's it. Okay. So first you have to analyze the issue. Without analyzing, never ever, come to hasty conclusions and make hasty remarks and suggest hasty solutions. They may go against your interest and the interest of the organization. This is the best part. Some don'ts in a group discussion. Till now I have just put you on to some of the do's, like what you should be and what they are going to see in you, evaluation aspect and so on. Some don'ts. You must understand, the moment you enter and sit down, the moderator is listening to you very keenly and is watching you very closely. Everything you do, the body language and everything you say would act in your interest or against your interest. So have some control over yourselves. First thing is, you should not use very casual English like you're speaking to friends. Na yaar, na, come on man. This sort of language is not permitted. Number one. Number two, when it comes to body language, please understand, you should not show your finger like this at anyone. This is very bad body language. Like this, showing a finger at someone, it's pointing to someone is very bad. You have a pen in your hands when you are writing there your points. Don't show your pen like this. It's a sign of arrogance. Okay? You must understand body language. And the biggest sin is showing an open hand like this. If you show an open hand like this, it almost means that you are telling the other person, you don't know anything, you bloody fool, right? That's what it means actually. You don't have to say that. Please understand, you don't have to say that. Then you may ask me, sir, okay, no hand, no finger. What do I do with my hands, okay? Now close your fingers, take them in and then speak. Right? See, just try to look at me carefully. Supposing I say, look at my hands carefully. When Mr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, the economic reforms were already on the way. In fact, he was the person who introduced them when he was Finance Minister under Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao. And when I say this, you can see my hands. Supposing I open my hands and say the same thing, when Mr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, the economic reforms were already on the way. Now you see how bad it looks. We don't know. Many times you guys and girls don't understand that your body language is hurting others. So please don't do this. Okay? And for God's sake, don't say you are wrong. Even if the other person is speaking something very silly, please don't say you are wrong. Don't say I don't agree with you. Simple better. These are statements which will lead to arguments. Just imagine somebody is talking and you say, I don't agree with you. Will that person keep quiet? If you say you are wrong, will the other person accept it? Oh, I am wrong, thank you. No. He will try to prove himself right. You are trying to prove him wrong. The discussion degenerates into an argument and a debate, and both of you will lose. The entire group stands to lose. Okay? So don't make such outrage comments. You are wrong kind of thing. Don't say this. Okay? Don't say things like, what do you mean? Don't you know? Right? What are you talking? Please don't make such things. They are all very rude. It's nice to be nice to people in this world. You lose nothing. You may ask me, but sir, the other fellow is saying something terrible. What should I do? You simply look at him and say, excuse me, that might be your opinion. In fact, after that, don't look at him. Just look at the rest of the group and suggest what you think is right. Okay? Don't look at him. That means it should not intimidate that person. You don't directly look at him and say, look, let me tell you kind of thing. Please don't. Look at the other rest of the group. You are sitting there to contribute what you think is right. You are not sitting there on a fault-finding mission, just trying to find faults in others. You are not gone there to find faults in others. So please understand, this is something that all of you should know. Okay. The most important thing in a group discussion is, remember you are in a group. You are in a group and it's a formal occasion that you should have control over yourself and your language. Now, these are some basics that I wanted to give you in a short span of time. Sometime when we organize a more detailed program, we plan to train people also. That's what my chairman was telling me. Definitely we plan to train people. But then all of you should remember one thing. You should have subject matter. Subject matter, I don't mean your engineering subjects. General subjects, general things. You should know what's happening in the world. You should have current affairs. Supposing he gives you something about GST, right? You should know what is that bill all about. What is the tax bill all about? Why is it that there's a problem there? You understand? So please understand this, right? See, can the government cope with the fluctuating prices of petrol and diesel month after month? What is happening here? You should have knowledge. Should there be an educational qualification prescribed for politicians to come into politics, for people to come into politics? You should have knowledge. You should understand what is a democracy, right? And if we prescribe a particular educational qualification, what are the fundamental rights we have? Are we not depriving somebody of their right to contest in elections? Right? At the Gram Panchayat level, what happens? What sort of qualification anyway? So, you need that analysis. You need that analysis. Now, when you analyze and try to generate points, how do we generate points in a group discussion? You are just given a few minutes time. Now, please understand, if you have knowledge, you can look at that topic from the social, the political, the economic, the legal or logical, and the technological angle. Social, political, economic, legal or logical, and technological. If you can analyze a topic from these 6 points of view, you can always generate points. But to use this approach and generate points, first you should have basic knowledge. When you have knowledge, this social, political, economic, legal and logical and technological approach towards a topic can help you easily to generate about 10 to 12 points on any topic. Just pick up the keywords. Just pick up the keywords from the given topic. Approach them from these points of view, the social, political, etc. If you have some base background knowledge, you can always create. Like educational system does not suit the needs of the country. What is meant by educational system? What are the needs of the country? What are the social needs? What are the political needs? What are the economic needs? Are we being well equipped by the current education system? If not, why not? And what are the changes that can be suggested for all the young men and women to develop a wonderful India in the future? This is how you can generate ideas. Okay? This is how generation is done. Look at the keywords and approach them from these 6 points of view. You can generate ideas. But for all this, you require knowledge. And to get knowledge, you work hard. Please understand, there is no elevator to success. There are only steps. Climb them. There is no substitute to hard work. Work hard, succeed in life. Good luck. God bless you.
You have heard to Professor RKP till now. I hope it will benefit not only the students but also the budding engineers. And if you have any suggestions or any queries, feel free to contact us. To win the race, join us.